How do you tell your date that you've never been in a relationship and never had sex before when you're at an age where this is expected from you? Just tell them because you're an adult and who gives a fuck. Well, I wouldn't use that as a conversation starter. No one, who you want to continue to date, is going to start the first date conversations with questions about sex life or past relationships. If things progress, if it comes up naturally, just tell the truth. If you're at that age where it's expected, you're an adult. Adults talk to each other. Skywriting is expensive but effective. I would say maybe not say that on the first date unless she wants to bone, in which case definitely don't mention it till after. Just tell them, assuming it comes up. If they make a big deal of it, then are they really someone you want a relationship with? It's irrelevant, so I would say don't bring it up unless they ask. Why bring it up? Would you tell your date how often you've had sex if you weren't a virgin? 1. Keep it to yourself at first. It's not their business. 2. Have fun with them. Date and have a good time. 3. Once they get to know you well, just tell them what's up. A decent person wouldn't have a problem with that. And if they did, you deserve better than them anyways. At least not at first. Tell them, but don't make the entire date about it. Enjoy getting to know one another, but don't be hyper-focused on this one thing. Whenever it comes up, you pretty much just tell them. I am a guy and it didn't happen for me until my 27th, and I am 28 now. I understand it might be a bit awkward, but there is an important point I would like you to consider. Not telling her, him means that when you get to that point, she will expect that you have at least some experience and know your way around places, and that's usually not the case during your first time. That's okay, no one expects you to be a naturally gifted goddess of love, and odds are you are going to have a good time anyway. However, not telling him, her will put extra pressure on you during the act, and that is pressure you don't need at that time. When I met my wife, she was 24 and a virgin and had never dated. I didn't care at all, and neither did she. It was a non-issue. I've only ever had one girlfriend and I'm 21. It's usually not a deal breaker when you're hooking up, no worries buddy. Women are understanding. Just don't be afraid to ask questions and ask what feels good for her. They don't mind teaching you if you listen. Don't just say it's been a long time. You don't need to tell your date, unless you've been on enough dates that it's feeling like you're headed toward a relationship. Don't act like you're admitting to something shameful. Treat it like it's a normal thing and you're casually sharing it. In fact, here's my suggestion, slip it into conversation instead of making it an announcement. In fact, you could use any awkward moment as a way to say it. Just go, I'm kind of bad with dates. I haven't really got a lot of experience with that. Anyone worth dating will act nice about it and probably think it's endearing. I have a friend that was in that position. You meet someone you like and be you, don't be ashamed. If they aren't okay with it, it tells you all you need to know about them and you move on. As a single guy with a tramp stamp, I can assure you, I would much rather reveal to somebody that I am not experienced sexually. I envy you. Just be honest. Maybe it's 'cause of religion or 'cause you were shy to the point of mental illness, or maybe you were a make-a-wish kid who had to deal with health issues for a decade. Shit happens, people understand. Whatever your reasons, just be honest about it. Sex life has left you behind and it's got you feeling pent up and frustrated, and you wanna dive in head first and start splashing around in the pool. It's totally normal to wanna make up for lost time. Just play safe and let nature do its thing. I wouldn't at all. That could throw them off, or worse, destroy any chances. You have to accept the fact that it might be a mediocre experience for them, but that isn't 100%. We only get better through practice though. So I want to be honest and upfront. This whole dating thing, I've not really done it too much. For one reason or another, I've not had a real relationship that has come out to be real substantial. That being the case, you know that movie 40-Year-Old Virgin. Wink wink, own it, don't be ashamed. Try to tell them long enough before it gets to the point where this becomes relevant that it's not too awkward. Like, before your pants come off, after a date or two, you can hopefully tell if it's someone you want things to continue with and how they might react. You should definitely be honest. Just tell them because it's the truth. I understand it can be awkward, but you can't hide from it because that will only lead to miscommunications and bad things. Through interpretive dance. Do you take credit or only cash? Watch 40-Year-Old Virgin. Then figure it out. Slow and steady wins the race. Easy, don't. Just say you're not very experienced. If things progress, you can elaborate on it. Show them 40-Year-Old Virgin and tell them it's true to life. https://cafecat.com/ickykwainterkshell. Be honest. Be open and honest. It's cliché, but if they get all upset or pushy, they aren't worth it. There's no right time, so just communicate that you haven't. And really, who cares anyway? If it becomes relevant, just spit it out, they'll appreciate your honesty. Although don't just blurt it out randomly, find a nice gap in the conversation to drop it in, or it would just be too weird. Just tell them, ask them to lead the way until you're comfortable. Just wait until the subject of sex comes up and slip it in. This was me a year ago. On the second date he brought up his ex, and that was when I shared with him that I didn't have any exes and had never been in a relationship. I didn't tell him I was a virgin until a few dates later, when things became more physically intimate. That's what felt the most natural to me. If it's the right person, they're going to be understanding. I wouldn't have wanted to share my first experience with someone who was judging me anyway. FYI, I'm a woman. Unfortunately, there may be a bit of a double standard here. But I still really like your advice, just tell the truth. It will be appreciated. If you want to make it less awkward for yourself, give yourself a brace yourself intro statement. *K, I know this is kinda weird *, but this is my first time at the reaching for a condom juncture. Honestly, if this is a big deal, or a deal breaker for them, they are not the one for you. So anyway, how's your sex life? Maybe do spill this on a date, let things get a little down the line. Come from a place of truth and honesty. If the person doesn't like it, you got off easy and found out they weren't right for you. You just do your best and wing it. People care much less than you think. The moment when it feels natural to tell them is the moment to tell them. The easy, relaxed feeling tells you that you feel you can be yourself with them. Basically, that's the social intimacy that indicates physical intimacy is safe. Your body will know that feeling, you'll feel present, e.g. not like you're flying out of your body, micro-watching your conduct with shame. Why would you need to tell a date you're a virgin? Do you not understand the geometry or physics of how the penis goes into the vagina? Rent the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin, and watch it with her, him. After the movie, sort of chuckle and wow, could you imagine haha because Hallmark card. Just say you're waiting for someone really special. Just say you play Fortnite and they'll know. You don't. If they ask, say you've never been in a long relationship. There are plenty of people in their 20s and even 30s who haven't been in anything past a few-month relationship. They won't know if you have or haven't. As for the virgin part, that's your call. The first time you have sex with somebody can be awkward no matter how experienced you have. Just tell them. Don't ask Reddit for advice on stuff like this. Honestly, why? As a man, would you feel you would underperform? I am a man, and at my first time I felt ready to do it with that person, felt she wasn't judging me. The Cultural Impact of Big Mama's House 2, by Sir Bartholomew Disquisiez. Edit, this was supposed to go in a thread about which book should replace the Bible in hotel rooms, but I guess you might as well talk about Big Mama's house to your date. Don't just wing it if moment comes. All this be grown up and tell him, her, is terrible advice. People play high and mighty on Reddit with the truth bullshit. Later on there will be moment for it, but for start avoid it. Why would you? Don't say shit. Until after a really long time. Fake it till you make it. Sex is not a difficult activity. Almost all beginners figure out how it works. If you open up too soon it could create an awkward situation. Spread M or stick M cause the clock's a tickin'.